following is a Learfield presentation of the Georgia Southern Sports Network. On the Georgia Southern Sports Network, powered by Learfield, presented by Morris Bank, this is Hail Southern Live.
Glory to God and a bunch of great kids. It's college football, not the best thing on earth.
Live at Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro. Hot wings, cold beer, and good times. Coming up, your all-access pass into Georgia Southern athletics, including a visit with head football coach Clay Helton.
Georgia Southern is championships. That's what this place was founded on. And the expectation and the standard each and every year is to compete and win championships.
Hail Southern Live is brought to you by Morris Bank. Bleed blue, bank blue. Morris Bank, member FDIC. The Georgia Lottery. Today could be the day. And by Savannah Hilton Head International Airport and the Savannah Airport Commission. Make sure to tweet your questions to @GS Sports Network. Now let's head live inside Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro. Here's the voice of the Eagles, Danny Reed.
Hello, Eagle Nation. No, I'm not Danny Reed. This is Terry Harvin, but I'm filling in for Danny Reed tonight because he's up in the ATL as Georgia Southern basketball season kicks off against Georgia Tech. Tip-off is set at 7:30. Of course, you can listen to Danny live on the Georgia Southern Sports Network, but we are live at Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro. This is Terry Harvin alongside of me, men's soccer coach Lee Squires. It's good to have you here, Coach.
Great to be here.
And we tip this up just a tad bit right there. There we go.
There you go.
All right. So glad to have you, Coach. And thank you all for being here tonight. We do know there's a lot of things going on, including men's basketball. And the basketball game will be on TV tonight on the ACC network. So we'll have that here at Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro. Coach Squires is year one for you in men's soccer. Let me just get right to it. You're from Sheffield, England, but you were up in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Lander, very successful there. You're moving your way down south into Georgia. And I think the most important question that everybody wants to know is the barbecue better in North Carolina, South Carolina, or Georgia? I mean, you got vinegar base, mustard, and we like it all.
Yeah, easy answer really. It's getting much better the further south I go. So can't complain with the barbecue here in town. People know how to eat in Georgia, and they do the barbecue right.
We do it. Dolan's Barbecue and Uncle Shug's, they do a really good job, and
Absolutely.
I know you all enjoy it.
Absolutely.
All right, now into the serious stuff. Let's talk about season one for you, Coach. It just wrapped up. 1-0 loss to University of Kentucky. A very strong conference. It could be argued to be the best conference in college athletics.
Yeah, it's definitely in the top 3 or 4. Very strong top to bottom. In any given year, we could have 4 or 5 bids to a national tournament, which is almost 50% of the conference. And yeah, we narrowly missed out on the conference tournament, but that 1-0 loss to Kentucky, we were the width of a white line away from tying the game up, which would have seen us in the conference tournament. And that's a game that the program lost by 6 last year. So that's kind of a snapshot of how the season's gone. It's we've made us a lot more competitive. Sure, we'd like a few more in the win column, and those results will come if we continue to trust in the process. But it's a great group of guys, very coachable. I'm very excited for the future of the program.
If there's a team to look at that you would like to emulate, that you're moving our program towards, what would that be?
I think we want to be ourselves. Of course, there's a high standard and a high bar set within the conference itself, but we want our own brand, we want our own philosophy and style to the way that we do things. And, I think that'll become apparent year on year with, we develop the talent from within and also add layers of recruiting classes on top of the next recruiting class, and ultimately have a culture that we can be proud of and call our own. The standard for the conference is your Marshalls, your West Virginias, your UCFs, and they've all been in the top 5 of the national rankings most of the season. So the standard is there, but we ultimately want to be, ourselves and, a style and a philosophy that other programs ultimately want to model themselves on.
You're watching Hail Southern Live. We're at Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro talking to men's soccer coach Lee Squires. And, Coach, talk about some of the highlights this year so far.
Yeah, I think, going up to West Virginia, who at the time were ranked number 2 in the country, and coming out of that with a 0-0 tie in front of over 1,000 fans up there in West Virginia was pretty special. The guys dug in and competed. We had some alumni in the crowd who got behind us. And then, in the latter part of the season, we were on a tough stretch of games, and we went up to Old Dominion and won 2-1 on their own turf. So, for us, we've had moments where it's been special. We've had a lot of other moments where we've been really close, and the idea going into next fall is to continue to bridge that gap and get closer and turn a lot of those ties that we had into wins, which will get us, looking up the league and challenging those bigger programs right now up at the top.
What about some of the players that stepped up in the leadership roles, and maybe even the surprise player for you this season?
We had a lot of returners that evolved from last year. Nate Martinez in goal played every game but one, and for a sophomore out of Atlanta, Georgia, to come in and play 16 games at this level is special. We had grad students from France, we had freshmen from Georgia, and everything kind of in the middle and in between. So Ty Wilson stepped up on the offensive side of the ball as a real dynamic prospect, and on pretty much a preferred walk-on to be our top goal scorer. Shows that the strength and depth that we could potentially have, and he'll be knocking on the door for scholarship, I'm sure, in the coming weeks. So and he's earned it. He's deserved it. So we want to build on that young talent. We're off to the Junior College National Championships next weekend to see if we can complement that young talent with a little bit more experience, and continue to tap into what's a great landscape for soccer in the state of Georgia.
So, like football and basketball and really now baseball, the transfer portal has become a big deal. Mm-hmm. It sounds like you're building it from the ground bottom up with the younger players and then complementing that. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think sometimes when you look for quick fixes with transfers, it's hard for them to buy into the culture because they're only here for the short term. But we also want to bring in some more experience that can help in the short term. So it's finding that blend between short term and long term and having that vision. And transfers can help educate these young guys coming through, but also when you do it organically and from the ground up, like you said, with true freshmen, you get time to really implement a style, implement a philosophy, and then it takes a little bit longer, but then in the long term, you have them laying the foundation for the next group coming through, and it becomes a lot more sustainable. We don't just want to be good this year or next year or the year after. We want to be good and compete in 5 years, 6 years, 10 years from now, and you have to do that with young players that are here for 4 years.
You mentioned the culture. What has it been like for you coming from North South Carolina here, the culture you've seen at Georgia Southern athletic department and across campus and this great community?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the pillars of our program is the community and building those relationships here in town, from youth soccer to local businesses to our alumni support. All of that is expanded, and people are re-engaged with the program again, and we're really excited by that. And then across the administration and the school in general, a key word in our department is alignment, and we've got a lot of people that are singing from the same hymn sheet, and that can only be positive for us as a program, and by extension athletics as a whole. You see that across the board with a lot of different sports this fall and going into the winter, setting records and being bowl eligible already, and there's a lot of good things happening, and we want to capitalize on that momentum as well.
You mentioned alumni. They've embraced you as well. Several have reached out to you. I think about Bo Pitts, for instance. He comes around the bow. Talk about our alumni base and how you're building from that and how it can help you with recruiting.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the whole NIL deal is huge, but beyond that, we have a huge expanse of alumni that are in different fields in their businesses and careers that we want to connect them with our current players. Student athletes are a lot more marketable sometimes than your regular student, and we want to connect people and connect our current student athletes with players from previous years gone by, because they were fully invested in the program in the 80s and 90s and 2000s, and we ultimately want our guys right now to become distinguished alumni when they're done. So it's really important that we have that connectivity and again have that alignment. We've had alumni, we had about 15 to 20 alumni with sideline passes for one of the football games about a month ago. And now we're getting them to come to, when we're on the road as well at Georgia State or West Virginia, we're getting alumni coming and supporting us, which I think has been missing maybe for a few years now. So it's great to have them engaged and again, part of that alignment that we're looking for across the board.
Alignment is the key word that you're hearing throughout the athletic department and throughout the university. You can certainly see the difference across campus and the sports. Before we wrap it up, let's talk about Lee Squires and family. Mention your family, tell Eagle Nation everything about you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I came over in 2007, met my wife in college. We now have 2 kids. They were 6 and 4 and growing up very, very quickly. They go to Bullock Academy here in town and have settled in, fantastically well, and happy and settled, and ready to build this program up with their support. And I couldn't be any more thankful for the Southern hospitality and how the community have embraced us, and looking forward to being here hopefully for many years to come.
So you've gotten through the whole football versus football, right?
Yeah, Coach Clay and I had a little joke in one of the kind of promo videos for our game against Marshall, which is the real football, and borrowing from each other's playbooks. So I think the football, soccer, is something we can embrace and get behind.
Well, Statesboro is certainly starting to take off a little bit with soccer. There's more interest in it in the South and in the state of Georgia. Tormenta's right here. Of course, that certainly helps.
Yeah, absolutely. Local pro team here in town that were, League One champions last year.
Yep.
Jacksonville have just announced that their team's going pro in 2025.
Wow.
You've got the MLS with Atlanta United and Charlotte, pretty close by. And then the World Cup's here in less than 3 years now. So exciting times for soccer as a landscape, soccer landscape in general across the country, and certainly here locally in Statesboro and Georgia.
Well, we're glad you're here, Coach. Thanks for being an Eagle and for leading the men's soccer team.
Absolutely.
All right. Live from Wild Wing Cafe, you're watching Hail Southern Live. We come back. It'll time to talk to Coach Helton and Georgia Southern football.
Hey, you're the guy with Kevin the fire-breathing goat. Yep. I'm playing Keno right now. Like you say, you pick 10 numbers, Keno picks 20. The more you match, the more you win.
Looks like your numbers are matching.
No way! Well, that was easy.
And there's another game in about 3 minutes.
Hey, little goat, you want to help me fill out my play slip for the next one?
No paper.
Whoa!
That's why he plays on his phone.
Win up to $100,000 every 3.5 minutes. Playing Keno. Play responsibly.
Eagle Nation, this is William Martin from Southern Exchange Company. We're proud to always bring you the best selection of Georgia Southern gear for game day and every day. Make sure to stop by and visit us at our store across from campus on Chandler Road or online at southernexchangecompany.com. Follow Southern Exchange on social media at SXC Statesboro for the latest gear in stock. Southern Exchange Company, the official merchandiser of Georgia Southern Athletics.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Order Bud Light online today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
There's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but great teams let their performance do the talking. Like the Ford F-150 truck with smart tech that'll help win the day and leave the competition speechless. That's why F-150 is the best-selling full-size pickup in Georgia and the official truck of the Georgia Southern Eagles. See your local Ford dealer today. Greatness starts here. Based on S&P Global Mobility Total, U.S. new vehicle registrations for the standard full-size pickup segment RYTD April 2023. Some models, trims, and features may not be available or may be subject to change.
Eagle Nation, tune in to Inside Georgia Southern Football each Monday, 11 a.m. on ESPN Plus, and watch locally on WJCL Saturday at 11:30 a.m. Our weekly 30-minute dive into Eagle football features head coach Clay Helton looking back at the week before and previewing the week ahead. It's football season, and your inside look is each Monday, 11 a.m. on ESPN Plus and Saturdays at 11:30 on WJCL. Inside Georgia Southern Football with head coach Clay Helton. Don't miss it.
Put
a smile on your face and put your hands together for the Houdinis of the hardwood, the human highlight reels that bring wow to the now, the world-famous Harlem Globetrotters. This isn't just basketball. This is where what just happened happens all the time. Don't miss the Harlem Globetrotters 2024 World Tour presented by Jersey Mike Subs at Hanner Fieldhouse on December 15th. Go to harlemglobetrotters.com for tickets.
You can have live college sports in your hand this year with the brand new Varsity Network app. Hear live, play-by-play, and keep up with your favorite teams and audio broadcasts no matter where you are with this free new app. Be sure to download the Varsity Network app today. This March, you can listen to exclusive Westwood One coverage of the NCAA men's and women's basketball tournaments for free on the Varsity app. Powered by Learfield. Listen to every game at a truly unique listening experience. It's all free. Search NCAA Championships.
Eagle Nation, don't miss the final home game of the regular season, Saturday, November 18th for Senior Day versus Old Dominion as we celebrate Ag Day. Call 1-800-GSU-WINS or visit gseagles.com/tickets. Watch the blue and white one more time inside the prettiest little stadium in America. Celebrate Ag Day on Saturday, November 18th versus Old Dominion as we honor the 2023 senior class. Call 1-800-GSU-WINS or visit gseagles.com/tickets.
Powered by Learfield. Welcome back to Hale Southern Live, presented by Morris Bank. Make sure to tweet your questions to @GS Sports Network. Now, let's return live to Wild Wing Cafe. Once again, here's the voice of the Eagles, Danny Reed.
Welcome back to Wild Wing Cafe. And once again, I am not Danny Reed. He is up in Atlanta. He's in the big ATL as men's basketball kicks off the season against Georgia Tech. This is Terry Harvin, and appreciate everybody being here tonight for Hale Southern Live at Wild Wing Cafe. Thank y'all very much. Enjoyed hanging out with Coach Lee Squires, the men's soccer coach. Now I have Coach Helton with us from football, and Coach just getting back from the big state, the Lone Star State of Texas. The result wasn't what we wanted, you wanted, the players wanted. But I got to tell you, that was a really, really good football team you played, and big. They were faster than I expected, and a lot of talent on that side of the ball.
Well, we knew going into it how good an offense they are. They were the number one offense in our conference, both in yards and in points, and had a couple games that they didn't meet their standard, and fighting for bowl eligibility, and came in hungry and played at a very high level, played very well, and we had a not-so-great second quarter. Felt we were in a good position going in after the first quarter, leading 10-7. And then about three things happened right in a row that really triggered, from getting a stop defensively and having a penalty on roughing the punter, coming right back and going out on downs on a 4th and 5, and then coming back and having a P&10 interception in the red zone. You have 4 drives in that first half, 22 plays, which is not our norm, not a ton of opportunities. And so the moral of the story was, to both offensively and defensively, we've been so good at third downs. And defensively, you look up and we're 10 of 17 on the night, not getting them off the field. And we go 4 of 12, third and fourth downs. And so drive stoppers. So at the end of the day, it created the separation at halftime. We don't really believe in moral victories. I was proud of the kids of how they fought and how they played in the second half. They responded to adversity very well, but they know that that's not our standard. We know that's not our standard as coaches. The good news is you got everything ahead of you. Yep. You still control your own destiny for a championship. You still control your own destiny for a 10-plus win season, and having a great postseason. So we're looking forward to the opportunity to get him back on the field.
There was a lot of emotional things on Texas State's side, as you mentioned. They did change the time of the game. I think that actually impacted their attendance. But they had a bowl eligibility the first time ever, I believe, for them since moving up. Again, really good quarterback. I noticed that they had, I think on offense, 23 out of 27 on offense, 2 to 3 deep were transfers. 22 out of 24 on defense transfers. The kicker was a transfer. They really took advantage of the transfer portal.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with Coach Kenny and the job he did with roster management. He brought 71 new players in.
Oh, wow.
In 1 year, and really transformed. That's not the same team that it was last year. And you can see by their play throughout the year. And had the opportunity to earn postseason play. They came out hungry and came out and played at a high standard. We were also hungry. I really felt we withstood an early storm and recaptured the lead, and then made enough mistakes in the second quarter to give up that lead and give separation. So good learning lesson for us, and appreciated the kids how they handled adversity, and they were right back to work on Sunday ready to go to Marshall.
You mentioned that second quarter, 24 points I think they scored, and really it was the roughing the punter, running into the punter, should say, because that ended up being a 15-play drive for them, and they ate up almost 8 minutes of the clock.
Yeah, so when you look at it, you're up 10-7 at that time. You're getting ready to get the ball back, have a chance to go up 2 scores. We're going to establish great field position. They were punting into the wind on a long field, probably getting it somewhere around midfield. And, we come scot-free, and one of our guys goes after it and just ends up hitting the punter. Allowed them to continue that drive and regain momentum on that. So I thought that was a big play in the game. I thought the next drive that we had the opportunity, we drive past the 40-yard line. Yeah. We get a 4th and 5. It kind of felt like that game, like, okay, this is going to be one of those shootout type of games. So we went for it. We had walked into the park saying, okay, every 4th and 1 to 5 inside the 40-yard line, we were going to go ahead and be aggressive. Missed that opportunity. They score and then get the ball right back, and we throw an interception on P and 10. So that bam, bam, bam right there created a huge momentum swing as well as points for them.
And when you're playing a really good team like Texas State and James Madison, you cannot make the mistakes that you can sometimes get away with against some other teams, or they'll capitalize on it, and they certainly did.
Yeah, definitely. We've played at a high standard against good teams like Coastal Carolina, who's playing really good football right now. Georgia State, who's playing good football. We have to do a great job on the road. We've played great at home. Now we've got to find the opportunity to go on the road and do like we did versus Ball State, really play all 3 phases consistently to our standard. And it's an opportune time to go 1-0 this week because it continues to allow us to control our destiny.
We come back out of the break. I actually have a question that was texted to me from Chris Yount, just about that very question about road versus home. We're talking to Coach Clay Helton, Georgia Southern football, and you are watching Hail Southern live from Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro.
Wild Wing, I think I love you. Hey, Eagle Nation, this is Terry Harvin from the Georgia Southern Sports Network. Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro is your true blue home for hot wings, cold beer, and good times. Owned and operated by a proud Georgia Southern grad, Wild Wing Cafe is the official home of Hail Southern Live, the Eagles' weekly sports show every Monday night starting at 7 p.m. Whether it's for lunch, dinner, catering, or takeouts, you'll say the same thing I do every time. Wild Wing, I think I love you. Go Eagles and go Wild Wing.
Your cargo transportation choice in Savannah and the Southeast. For freight management, consolidation, warehousing, and more, including flexible and responsive drayage solutions. Your success is our final destination. Savannah Logistics Group.
A logistics company that strives to deliver the best drivers, employees, and customer experience through our core values of empowerment, innovation, and consistency. Savannah Logistics Group, a proud supporter of Georgia Southern Athletics.
There's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but great teams let their performance do the talking. Like the Ford F-150 truck with smart tech that'll help win the day and leave the competition speechless. That's why F-150 is the best-selling full-size pickup in Georgia and the official truck of the Georgia Southern Eagles. See your local Ford dealer today. Greatness starts here. Based on S&P Global Mobility Total, U.S. new vehicle registrations for the standard full-size pickup segment RYTD April 2023. Some models, trims, and features may not be available or may be subject to change.
The Eagles fly here.
Intercepted. It's picked off. Condry Jackson to the 30. He outruns Bradley to the 20, to the 10, to the 5. How about that in the second play? Wings up, Eagle Nation. Touchdown, Georgia Southern.
Hail Southern and GATA all season long.
He caught it. He caught it. A lightning bolt, 79 yards to the jet.
On the Georgia Southern Sports Network from Learfield.
Put a smile on your face and put your hands together for the Houdinis of the hardwood, the human highlight reels that bring wow to the now. The world famous Harlem Globetrotters. This isn't just basketball. This is where what just happened happens all the time. Don't miss the Harlem Globetrotters 2024 World Tour presented by Jersey Mike Subs at Hanner Fieldhouse on December 15th. Go to harlemglobetrotters.com for tickets.
Hey Eagle fans, this is Jared Benko. Renew your basketball season tickets today to watch Charlie Henry's first season leading the Eagles. Prices start at $100 for general admission and $150 for upper reserve. Reserve yours by calling 1-800-GSU-WINS or visit gseagles.com/tickets. Parking passes this season are also available to Earth Russell Fund donors for $100. Experience Georgia Southern basketball in its final full season at Hanner Fieldhouse. Renew your season tickets today. 1-800-GSU-WINS or gseagles.com/tickets.
This is Hail Southern Live, powered by Learfield, live at Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro. Here's Danny Reed.
Welcome back to Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro and Hail Southern Live. This is Terry Harvin. Alongside of me, head coach Clay Helton. And thank y'all for being here tonight. Just finishing up talking about Texas State, a rough road trip for the Eagles out there. Great facilities. It was a good trip other than the game itself. And we do have a question, Coach, from the Twitterverse, Chris Yount. Can I still call it Twitter? I think I got to call it something else now. So anyway, his question is, what differs on how we prep for home games versus away games? Because it seems to be two completely different ball clubs depending on where the game is played.
Well, I tell you, I'd love to play like we did at Ball State each and every time, play a dominant game with in all three phases. One of the things that happens, when you go on roads, especially in this league, which I think is a predominant group of 5 league that's out there, it is some of the toughest places to play in the country. You think about a Georgia Southern, you think about a Marshall, you think about an App State, you think about a James Madison. There's a reason that those 4 schools are, I think, in the top 10 all time in winning percentages at home. They're tough places to play. So routine-wise and preparation-wise, we keep our guys in routine. There are some times, like when you go to Wisconsin, we'll filter in noise, we'll filter in distractions that will happen in game. But the fact of the matter is, when you go to a place, you have to be able to eliminate those distractions and truly focus on your job. I thought we did a really good job of that at Ball State. We played a good Wisconsin team, a good James Madison team, and a good Texas State team on the road where we did not do that. And the goal this week is to play like we play at home, which is with high energy, with high focus, and have the availability to win one play at a time and come up playing all 3 phases very well. I know our kids take a lot of pride in what they're doing. They've set themselves up for a championship run, which has not been. It's been a while since these kids have seen that. Have that opportunity. Yes, and so to be in this place, like I told them, if I was to tell them at the beginning of the year, hey, we're going to be in November, the second game in November, you're already going to be bowl eligible. You control your own destiny to win, to have a chance to play, to represent the East in a conference championship. You got a chance to win 10-plus games in the second year of this program. Would you have been happy? Yeah, because we are about championships. Yep. Bowl games are standard here. They're expected here, and to be back-to-back postseason is great. But we have to go over the next 3 games, 2 which are on the road, and go find ways to win on the road. I know our kids can. They'll play at a high level in these last 3. They know how important it is. I know how important it is to them. They know how important it is to the community.
The November gauntlet is very tough, as we just saw, going out to Texas and then now going to Marshall. You have a very good ODU team, Old Dominion coming, and then up to the mountains to take on the rival of Appalachian State. We need the power of Paulson to travel with us. Thankfully, we have a good fan base that does like to travel, so that's good. But let's stay on Texas State for just a minute. Standout-wise, I did notice we've been very heavy on the pass game, 70-30 split, pass versus run. This week, more emphasis on the run. Jalen White once again stepping up, in particular in the back half of the game.
Yeah, we challenged our offensive line and our runners. We felt like we needed 150 yards plus in that game running the ball. And you look up, and Jalen has 159. We go 180 on the day rushing. We actually ran the ball more than we threw it in this game. Under 60 plays, which is not our norm. We've been in the high 70s. But to see Jalen go for his third 100-yard game straight was great to see. I've always thought the best friend of a quarterback is a good running game and a good running back that's right behind you, because it gives you advantage coverages. I thought Brian really leaned on that running game, and to be able to, with the coverages that we were getting, and you look up and the running back has over 9 yards a carry and has a great day. We need to continue that, especially when you're going against a Marshall team that's one of the best pass defenses in the country.
You had backup running backs come in, and I thought they did pretty good. And it was good to see Terrence Gibbs get some carries.
Yeah, I was really excited for Terrence to get in, and he's become more and more comfortable in practice. Have seen him some limited action throughout this season, and he's finally getting that confidence. You can see it in practice. You can see him stick his foot in the ground, and to be able to get out there and see him run violently like a big back should was great to see. So excited for him. He's got a bright future here. We knew that when we took Terrence that we had big picture aspirations.
Yes.
It was not going to happen year one. We knew he wasn't even going to play. We were hoping to build confidence in year two. That's what's happening right now, and he's going to have 3 great years that I'm hoping that he is like another Jalen White, a 215-pound back that can carry a large load.
Danny likes to call him the big bull. Jalen White breaks his horns out, and he certainly did back-to-back games showing what he can do, and we're going to need that moving forward. The back half of the season, going into Marshall in particular, who does a pretty good job against the run. Texas State did too, but we did okay against them. Defensively, let's talk about Georgia Southern's defensive efforts against a very good Texas State team that was very balanced, in my opinion.
Yeah, we kind of had the trifecta of misfits, missed tackles, not playing good man coverage. And when you end up having those 3 things go on in one game, points are going to get on the board, and drives are going to be extended. And all of a sudden you look up and they're in the high 70s as far as play count, 10 of 17 like we talked about on third downs, and they finished drives too. They were 6 or 7 on touchdowns in the red zone. So not to our MO. We had been playing really good defense up until that. Ran into a very good athletic spread offense that hit on all cylinders and had trouble getting off the field.
He had a very good running back, one of the best in the country in all-purpose yards and average rushing per carry. I thought one receiver in particular ended up with 13 catches. He was really good. The quarterback, 6'7", listed as 256. I don't know. He's probably 270, but he was a big one. But that offensive line, 6'6", 334 pounds. That's probably the biggest offensive line we've faced yet.
Yeah, they did a really nice job, and I thought from a play calling standpoint, I thought they did a good job of mixing both run and pass. And we knew going into that game that we had to get them out of their comfort zone, which was the RPO game.
Yeah.
And they were able to stick in it. You didn't see a ton of third and longs in that game. They were able to get to third and shorts, third and manageables, and then you look up, and that's why you have a 10 of 17 day. We just weren't able to get them in those third and longs where we felt like we could get after. Got a couple that which ended up in 3 sacks
on the
day.
A few times. We did get
on the day, but not enough to be able to win a football game.
Gotcha. Well, we're going to put that one in the books and put that one behind us. Learn a lot from it, which is I know you're doing this week. And we're going to look forward as we get ready to go up to Huntington, West Virginia, to the Thundering Herd of Marshall. But when we come back out of the break, we're going to talk to tight end Jjay Mcafee, who 1 catch, and it was a big one.
Yeah, he ended up having 2 catches.
2 catches. I'm just thinking about the big one.
And 1 touchdown.
The one big one. I about fell out of the booth.
Yeah, he's had a terrific year. I think he's already set a career high for catches in a season, and really is a strong point. Him and Keaton Upshaw have really come on for us as not only obviously they're good blockers, but they've become weapons in the pass game, which we were hoping for this year.
I always tease Cam Brown, who works with us, because he was a tight end, and I go, no. This is what tight ends are supposed to look like, Cam. You were a blocker, okay? These guys can actually run. But I'm looking forward to talking to Jjay. And we're going to finish up with Coach. We'll talk to him in 2 segments. We come back, we'll talk to Jjay Mcafee. This is Terry Harvin. You're watching Hail Southern Live from Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro.
Don't let an injury keep you on the sidelines. So go where the pros go, Optum Orthopedics. They're the official orthopedics and team physicians for Georgia Southern Athletics. Thanks to Optum, our Eagles get the best care on and off the field. The good news is that Optum is here for you too. Located in our community, Optum is the leader in advanced orthopedic care throughout the Southeast. Like the Eagles, you deserve the freedom to soar. With Optum's fellowship-trained orthopedic surgeons, you will. Your team, your community, your freedom. Optum Orthopedics, they're here for you.
Did you know that Yancey Rents is a Georgia-owned rental company serving Georgia since 1914? Yancey Rents has excavators, dozers, backhoe loaders, small dump trucks, water trucks, concrete saws, light towers, scissor lifts, and so much more. We've got a huge selection of equipment ready to be rented today. Call 844-YNC-RENT or check us out at yanceyrents.com. With 16 locations around the state and a new expanded lineup of equipment ready to be rented right now, Yancey Rents wants to be your preferred rental supplier in Georgia.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Order Bud Light online today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
The Eagles fly here.
Intercepted. It's picked off. Cadre Jackson to the 30. He outruns Bradley to the 20, to the 10, to the 5. How about that on the second play? Wings up, Eagle Nation. Touchdown, Georgia Southern.
Hail Southern and GATA all season long.
He caught it. He caught it. A lightning bolt, 79 yards to the Jets.
On the Georgia Southern Sports Network from Learfield.
Wild Wing, I think I love you. Hey, Eagle Nation, this is Terry Harvin from the Georgia Southern Sports Network. Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro is your true blue home for hot wings, cold beer, and good times. Owned and operated by a proud Georgia Southern grad, Wild Wing Cafe is the official home of Hail Southern Live, the Eagles' weekly sports show every Monday night starting at 7 p.m. Whether it's for lunch, dinner, catering, or takeouts, you'll say the same thing I do every time. Wild Wing, I think I love you. Go Eagles and go Wild Wing.
Hail Southern and GATA.
At Georgia Southern, we have a rich basketball tradition to live up to.
Kick out left wing for more. Shot big on Iheanacho. Pulls the 3. He swirls it home. It counts off the glass in the foul. And a free throw try to tie.
What a special opportunity. Our last season at Hanner Fieldhouse.
Curry to clean up in the dunk at 4-0-3.
It's only right we send it off in style with one last ride.
Listen to Eagle basketball all season on the Georgia Southern Sports Network.
Another season of women's and men's college sports is underway. Follow your alma mater or favorite team in their pursuit of the prestigious Learfield Directors Cup at L Directors Cup on Twitter and online at thedirectorscup.com. Trophies will be awarded in June 2023 to the winning institutions in all competitive divisions. Learfield Directors Cup, the crowning achievement in college athletics.
Put a smile on your face and put your hands together for the Houdinis of the hardwood, the human highlight reels that bring wow to the now, the world-famous Harlem Globetrotters. This isn't just basketball. This is where what just happened happens all the time. Don't miss the Harlem Globetrotters 2024 World Tour presented by Jersey Mike Subs at Hanner Fieldhouse on December 15th. Go to harlemglobetrotters.com for tickets.
Powered by Learfield. Welcome back to Hail Southern Live, presented by Morris Bank. Make sure to tweet your questions to @GS Sports Network. Now, let's return live to Wild Wing Cafe. Once again, here's the voice of the Eagles, Danny Reed.
And once again, I'm not Danny Reed. Danny Reed's actually up in Atlanta right now, and we actually have the TVs on right now as Georgia Southern is playing Georgia Tech in basketball to kick the season off. I'm filling in for Danny. This is Terry Harvin, and you're watching Hail Southern Live from Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro. Good to have everybody here, and including tight end Jjay Mcafee. Welcome to the show. out of Charleston, South Carolina.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Ashley High School?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, I asked Coach Squires about this because he was in North Carolina and South Carolina, and now he's in Georgia. So this is only a silly question.
What's up?
Well, maybe one. Barbecue.
Barbecue.
South Carolina does this mustard stuff. North Carolina does the now we're here in Georgia. What's the best barbecue?
South Carolina.
Let me ask you that again. We're in Georgia. What's the best barbecue again?
South Carolina.
So you like the mustard-based barbecue?
Yes, sir.
All right. Y'all hear that out there? You got to up our game a little bit. Dolan's has got some mustard-based barbecue, and so does
What's a
Uncle
good
Shug's.
barbecue place to go to in Statesboro?
Dolan's and Uncle Shug's, the only two.
I'm going to go by there.
I'll go by there and ask for the mustard base. It's pretty good.
I got you.
All right. Saturday, not exactly the game that we were hoping for, you were hoping for, but you had a huge – I know you had 2 catches, Coach reminded me, but the one was big, wide open, off to the races you were. Talk about that play in particular.
Yeah, I want to shout out to the O-line for holding up for me for Davis to get the ball out and everything. But after Davis threw it, it was just God. Probably one of the easiest touchdowns I had.
Ran right underneath it and kept on running.
Yes, sir.
Did you feel them on your toes? Coming right on your heels there?
Yeah, to the right and left. I knew they was beside me. I knew it was cover 3, so I knew it was an overlap corner. So after that, I just knew I had to hurry up and get in the end zone before he got to me.
Well, this is a good question as a fan. I always want to know this. When you're on the field and you're running, you got a breakaway like that. You got these big monitor. You got the big scoreboard videos out there, right? Do you ever look up in there and see the guys behind you?
Yeah, you see them behind you running.
So you are really looking at it.
Yeah. If it's big enough, like if it's on the side, you can see it like they have one on the left side. So I kind of peeked over there.
So you peek over there and see how close they are to you?
Yeah.
All right.
That's cool, though. Cool.
It is. So
Georgia Southern, we got the one on the back side so you can really see what's going on.
I've always
if
wanted
you're running
to know
that
that
way.
All right, that's one of those interesting questions there. That's not internet. That was my question.
Yeah.
All right, what made you decide to come from South Carolina, Charleston area to Statesboro and Georgia Southern?
I went to GMC first, Georgia Military College.
Georgia Military, great college in Milledgeville.
So after I left Georgia Military College, I had a couple of schools looking at me, but I just felt like Georgia Southern was the one. Like I felt like it was a family environment, so I just felt like it was the one for me to come to.
It's your 6th year, and last year you had the air raid and Van Treese. Now you got the air raid with Brett. You got to be loving this offense.
I'm loving it. It's better than we had with triple option. So.
All right, well, there's a lot of old faithful Eagles that love the old triple option, but I think we're all starting to embrace the pitching it forward versus pitching it backwards all the time. So you're bowl eligible.
Yes, sir.
In November. Coach said if he had said to y'all, we're going to be bowl eligible by November, we're the second team in the Sun Belt to be bowl eligible, and we got a chance for a 10-win season. Would you have believed him before the season started?
Yeah, I would have believed him because I just felt like the culture we had, it went like during the winter workouts. Like it started with Coach Steiner, like the way he works us and everything, and how he prepare our mindset. Like this team was just different than the teams we had the past couple of years, like with our brotherhood and everything. So I could have believed it if he would have told us that early on this year.
What is now let's talk about academically a little bit. What is your degree program here at Georgia Southern?
I graduated back in December at IDS.
So you already got your degree?
Yes, sir.
You working on your master's or you just taking some classes?
Taking some classes.
This is your last go.
Yes,
What's next for Jjay?
I'm going to declare for the league after this semester right here.
Start working out?
Yes, sir.
All right, we got a lot to look forward to. You got to put that game behind us, right?
Yes, sir.
So it's a big week of practice. You already started game prep yesterday, I would assume, right?
Yeah, yesterday and today.
Yesterday and today. So you're going up to Huntington, West Virginia. Weather's going to be a little different. Going from one side of the nation to the other. Going up to the mountains. So you ever been up to Huntington?
Not my little brother from Virginia.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's going to be a little colder.
A little cold.
Maybe in the 40s.
That's cool.
You ready to go?
I'm ready.
What do we need to do to win?
Shoot. We got to win on Tuesday and Wednesday at practice. That's how we get the opportunity to win, just like Coach Ellis always tells us all the time. So you got to go put that work in tomorrow at Eagle Creek.
Win on Tuesday and Wednesday. We can win on Saturday.
Get the opportunity to win on Saturday. Still got to make the plays. Yes, sir.
Still got to make the plays.
Yes, sir.
Talk about the younger players that are coming in and in a leadership role and what you say to them and how you work with them.
I work with Elijah and JP a lot, the freshman tight ends, because even Elijah, he played receiver last year, and I was a former receiver, so just transforming into the tight end frame and understanding the run game and everything. So I feel like both of them, even JP, they're gonna have a big impact in Georgia Southern in a couple of years, next year, or as soon as possible.
You mentioned frame, and that reminds me of your frame.
Yes, sir.
You've gotten thicker. You mentioned Coach Steiner. Talk about the weight conditioning program and the nutritional program that we have in place now.
Oh yeah, Miss Elijah, she is she the real deal. Like, she help us with like our calorie intake. Like, for me personally, I have a big thing where I have to hydrate a lot, so she always help me like with hydration, electrolytes, and everything like that. So, and I feel like with Coach Steiner, I don't know, I just love Coach Steiner. I just love his mindset. Like I went from 215 to 240, and I stayed the same speed and the same jump, the same and everything. And I give it all to Coach Steiner and God.
So she manages your calorie intake and your dehydration levels.
Yes, sir.
I manage a lot of intake here when I'm at Wild Wing getting wings, because I can intake a lot of wings. What'd you get for dinner tonight?
I got a 10-piece and some French fries, and I gave them all to Caleb Hood.
You give them all to Caleb? Caleb like his wings?
Yeah, he likes some wings.
That's awesome. Well, he needs to give you the onions then, because he's got that deal with Schumann Farms.
Yeah, I need some onions, Hood.
Yeah, he needs to hook you up. Hood's got to hook you up. You give him the onions, he'll give you the wings. Deal? Deal. Schumann Farms. Jjay, thanks for hanging out with us today.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate what you do, and thanks for
Thank
being
you for the
Eagle.
opportunity. Thank you.
You're a good man.
Yes, sir.
You're watching Hail Southern Live at Wild Wing Cafe. We come back, we'll talk to Coach Helton, and we'll wrap it up and get ready for the Thundering Herd from Marshall. Don't forget, Georgia Southern's on TV playing basketball right now against Georgia Tech.
Welcome to another bank. Please just say what you need help with.
Check my balance.
I heard pay a bill. Is that correct?
When you bank at Morris Bank, you won't be greeted with an automated response system or wonder if you're just another account number, because real relationships make community banking better. Morris Bank and Georgia Southern football were built on the same blue-collar mentality, and at Morris Bank, blue isn't just a part of our ad campaign, it's a part of our DNA. Morris Bank is proud to be the season-presenting sponsor of Georgia Southern football. Bleed blue, bank blue. Morris Bank, member FDIC.
Hi, this is former quarterback Kyle Van Treese. Name, image, and likeness, or NIL in college sports, is here to stay. We have the opportunity to be one of the leaders in our conference and in the group of five. To keep our championship standard and stay ahead of the rest, we must keep our best players and recruit the best as well. Thanks to the new Eagle Nation Collective, we're in a great position to do just that, but we can't do it without your support. Please help by becoming a member of the Eagle Nation Collective today. Sign up online at eaglenationnil.com and receive exclusive access to our student athletes that you can't get anywhere else. Join the Eagle Nation Collective at eaglenationnil.com.
The Eagles fly here.
Intercepted. It's picked off. Condry Jackson to the 30. He outruns Bradley to the 20, to the 10, to the 5. How about that on the second play? Wings up, Eagle Nation. Touchdown, Georgia Southern.
Hail Southern and GATA all season long.
He caught it. He caught it. What a lightning bolt. 79 yards to the jet.
On the Georgia Southern Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey Eagle fans, this is Jared Benko. Renew your basketball season tickets today to watch Charlie Henry's first season leading the Eagles. Prices start at $100 for general admission and $150 for upper reserve. Reserve yours by calling 1-800-GSU-WINS or visit gseagles.com/tickets. Parking passes this season are also available to Irk Russell Fund donors for $100. Experience Georgia Southern basketball in its final full season at Hanner Fieldhouse. Renew your season tickets today. 1-800-GSU-WINS or gseagles.com/tickets.
Woo! Got my nachos, got my big TV, and my favorite chair. It's game time. But you know, the only thing that would make it a little better is if I could listen to my local broadcasters while watching the game.
Hello. You must have wished for your game to be synced with TV and radio.
I sure did.
Do you have a DVR?
You bet.
Do you have a streaming device?
Yeah.
Blammo! Your game is now synced. It's that easy.
Oh, boy.
To see if you can get synced, head to syncmygame.com from Learfield.
Syncmygame.com?
Syncmygame.com.
Put a smile on your face and put your hands together for the Houdinis of the hardwood, the human highlight reels that bring wow to the now, the world-famous Harlem Globetrotters. This isn't just basketball. This is where what just happened happens all the time. Don't miss the Harlem Globetrotters 2024 World Tour presented by Jersey Mike Subs at Hanner Fieldhouse on December 15th. Go to harlemglobetrotters.com for tickets.
This is Hail Southern Live, powered by Learfield, live at Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro. Here's Danny Reed.
Welcome back to Hail Southern Live at Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro, Georgia. So glad you could join us. Thoroughly enjoyed that interview with Jjay Mcafee. Tight end out of Charleston, South Carolina. Glad he's an Eagle. Had a great game on Saturday. We need another one out of him this Saturday. Coach, those tight ends, it's when I was here, one, we didn't really have tight ends. And actually the wide receivers were really called wide blockers. So it's a little different now with what you have here with this offense. Coach, let's talk about moving forward. We're going up to Huntington, West Virginia. It's a special day for Marshall as they recognize the tragedy from many years ago. They're coming off of they're not perhaps having the season they were expecting, and they're coming off of a tough loss to Appalachian State. They've had some injuries. We're coming off a loss, so this is going to be a heck of a ball game.
Yeah, definitely. Special day for that community and for the university. You know, Marshall is very similar to us, has unbelievable football tradition and history. And, you know, Saturday's going to be a special day. It's a day of remembrance of a tragedy that affected so many people. It affected a community, obviously affected a university so tragically, and it affected the college football world. But it also brought about a great story of being able to build back, and there's a pride that is there at that university that as coaches and as football players, you grow up knowing that story. And to be a little part of it on a Saturday, playing a game is special. We have a memorial sticker that we will put on our helmet to honor the Marshall and those that were lost, and honor and have a special tribute for those that were lost in the university.
Coach Elwood, who was here at Georgia Southern many years ago when I was here, was actually at Marshall at the tail end of that, so I learned a little bit from him when he was here. But as we look forward, we're learning more about that offense that I think still has a lot of talent, and their defense certainly is very stout as we remember last year. They seem to pass the ball a lot more than they run the ball this year. But again, their defense was very good against the run.
Yeah, you know, this is a bunch that really started out hot at the beginning of the season, has a bit Power 5 win, starts out 4-0, and then you know, halfway through the season gets a little bit of injuries. Defense has played at a very, very high level the entire way through the season and has really kept them in football games. Offensively, because of the injuries, they're still trying to find a rhythm and a chemistry. You know, their talented running back has been injured most of the year. Quarterbacks, they've had to switch in and out because of injury, and there hasn't been a rhythm. Our job is to hopefully, you know, continue to cause disruption because this is a very good football team and a very good coaching staff. I have so much respect for Coach Huff, not only as a coach, a recruiter, a leader. There's a reason he's had success at Marshall. He's had it at the highest level, and now he's bringing that attitude to Marshall.
Yeah, he's very well respected. A defensive mind as well. Great recruiter, as you mentioned. The defensive coordinator from Florida State, I think he's in his third season as well. But again, I think about last year going into that game and knowing how we're going to run the ball at all. And we did okay, right? But we also saw we picked up a running game against Texas State that I didn't expect either.
Well, I tell you, and we'll have to have that balance. They're one of the top pass defenses in the country, and, you know, where we have been successful over the last 3 weeks is being able to create balance with a healthy Jalen White. Hoping to get Jjay Arnold back this week. I think he'll be ready by Saturday. So hopefully we've got all our weapons ready to roll for Saturday in that run game.
I misspoke when I said the defensive coordinator of Florida State. That's actually offensive coordinator in his third season because I was so focused on Fancher. And when you talk about Fancher and Pennington kind of going back and forth, I look at the running game. The receivers, they got a good bit of transfers coming in there, so they've dipped into the transfer portal as well.
Yeah, you know, that's pretty much the name of the game with all universities right now is being able to acquire the young developmental talent within your recruiting footprint, and then being able to fill needs that are immediate to be able to produce the best roster. You know, you look at even in our segment, we've signed 40 high school players over the last 2 recruiting cycles. The majority of those players are from the great state of Georgia. We've dipped into the attached states of Alabama, Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina, but the majority of our 29-man squad, 87 of those players come from the state of Georgia. And so you're able to bring in some talent like a Jjay Smith, who's had an unbelievable job for us, Prince Green, who's come in, DeMel Hickman, who's come in. So Davis Brin, our quarterback, Keaton Upshaw, tight end. So we filled some immediate need positions. But, when you look at that young developmental talent that's growing right before our eyes, DeAndre Buchanan, coming out of Carver High School right here from Georgia, Marcus Sanders, who's played big over the last 2 years. You want to be able to grow from within also. And so there's a happy medium there, and Marshall's doing that also.
Coming from Texas State, now changing the game plan towards Marshall, obviously not looking for any secrets in the game plan. But there are some fundamental things that you probably have looked at and said, we have to change, or we have to do this better, and we have to do this. You kind of touched on it earlier, getting off the third down.
Yeah, the key to our success has been able to create turnovers and protect the football. Every time that we've gotten 3 or more turnovers, we've won. We're 6-0. The ability to get off the field on third down on defense, which we've done an amazing job when you look at the entire resume up until last Saturday. Offensively, we were one of the top 10 in the country in third down efficiency. So 4 of 12 is not our MO. And so we look forward to getting a chance to go back out there and competing at our standard and being at the level that we know we can be.
You mentioned turnovers. They're at a -9 turnover margin. We're at -3. I think they've thrown 13 interceptions and maybe 8 fumbles. So going back to your point on from a defensive perspective, it's disrupting their offense.
Yeah, definitely. You're going to have to – the defense is so good that you're going to have to create some field position with stops and turnovers. When we look at things – when we are able to get 9 drive stops, and that could be any. Look at the Georgia State game.
Yeah.
You look at 3 turnovers, 4 punts, an out on downs, a field goal kick that was missed. There's 9 drive stops that create the separation within that game, and so that's something that we look at each and every week, and a huge part of that is turnovers. So hopefully we can get back on the turnover train and get some defensively.
They've done a really good job on their defenses, holding their opponents to just 31% on third down.
Yeah, you're talking about one of the best defenses over the last 2 years.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been truly special. So it's been the strength of their team back-to-back years. They were one of the top 2 teams in the country last year. They're one of the top pass defenses this year. A lot of those same bodies we played last year are on this defense. So it's going to be a great challenge for our offense.
Speaking of great, I can't help but think about we had a very good fan base that traveled out to San Antonio, then to San Marcos, which was a great environment. Again, we'll need those fans. We talk about the power of Paulson, figuring out a way to take the power of Paulson on the road up to Huntington.
Yeah, I thought our fan base did a tremendous job as far as being there in San Marcos and basically everywhere we've gone. That's been the history of Georgia Southern. I still remember the bowl game from last year just being blown away by the attendance. And then you look at what our fans have done in Paulson. I mean, it's been the difference in this season has just been the electricity of our alumni, our fans, and our students. Now it's our job. It's our job to go on the road and go 1-0 so we can come back home to that power of Paulson, continuing to control our destiny. So we have to pour all our efforts into this game.
Now, there's a strong likelihood we'll put out some information as far as next week's show that you may or may not be with us. You may not even know this yet because I know what time the team may get home on Sunday morning, which may be like 4 a.m. or something like that. So we may need to make some adjustments. So that being said, we need a great fan base going up to Huntington, get that victory, come back to an even stronger fan base right here at Paulson for the Old Dominion game because that'll be a senior game, celebrate agriculture game.
Yeah, we've got a chance to do, what's been done here so many times, to have an undefeated season in your home stadium, to go 6-0 at home. Hopefully we've gone 1-0 at Marshall and be able to come back to continue on this journey to a championship in a very important game against a team that if you look at every one of their wins and losses, it's been by 1 score.
Yeah.
It's a really good Old Dominion football team. So we'll need every good Eagle that's around to be there at Paulson.
Some good football being played up there. Always keeping an eye on all of them. And really it helps out the conference quite a bit to see how, really you know, you always talk about parity, and really can be the truth in the Sun Belt. Georgia Southern, by the way, off to a very good start up in Atlanta against Georgia Tech. I believe leading the Yellow Jackets 10-6 early in this contest. I was right on cue, 10-6 early in this contest. And right on cue is the music in my ear. It's telling me it's time to wrap it up. Coach, I appreciate you hanging out with us. Thanks for putting up with me, filling in for Danny Reed.
Thank you,
He'll
Terry.
be back with you, I guess, in 2 shows.
Yep.
And I'll see you up in Huntington, West Virginia.
Appreciate you, Terry. Hail Southern, and good luck to Charlie and the boys up in Atlanta.
All righty, Coach. Georgia Southern up in Atlanta. Danny Reed with them calling all the action, so you can tune in to the Georgia Southern Sports Network and pick up on that. If you're watching on TV, turn the radio down or turn the TV down, the volume up. The Eagles are up 10-7. You've been watching Hail Southern Live at Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro.
Southern Sports Network, powered by Learfield, presented by Morris Bank. You've been listening to